What is up, Jabronis? JJ back here with Uncle T, Snyder, and Kurt, who left but is back. Left again and is back again. Boys, fun little weekend out in Cincinnati. Some may call it Northern Kentucky, but I mean it rounds off. Uncle T, what was your? We'll go just around the room real quick. What was your favorite part of the weekend?
I mean, I got to pick out just one. I mean, that's tough. I mean, I think the fact that Holden wasn't as big of a dick as I thought he might be. That might be one. Holden. I actually liked Holden. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, Holden was a good dude. He only stayed for like 4.5 hours, so I didn't get a chance to see him a whole lot. Went to Long Necks on Wednesday, got to hang out with him, and before you know it, he was gone. So didn't get really a chance to see Holden much. But no, but my highlight probably is Mikey on the card table. I mean, Mikey was, 1, a lot of fun to play with. 2, never got tilted. And 3, he gave a lot of money away to Kurt Sr. Kurt Sr. just owned Mikey on the card table, and I thought that was pretty cool. So, yeah, those would be my takeaways. But it was great to have you guys here, in all honesty. Me and Big T just love having you guys in, and, it's just a great time. You guys, like I think somebody mentioned it in chat is, we see each other a lot, obviously on the shows and gotten to know each other pretty good. But getting together, it's like, rooting for each other, rooting in winners. It's nothing better. If we don't win, we want our guys to win, and it was a lot of fun.
It's irony that Uncle T says we root for everybody to win, because it felt like every bet I made, everybody was rooting for me to lose. But that's okay. Snyder, how about you? What was your favorite part of the weekend?
I was rooting your guys in, JJ. They just didn't run fast enough.
Thank you, Mitch.
Probably the golf match is probably up there in terms of the highlights for me, and the copious amounts of high noons.
As for the games in the slab, yeah, I mean, they went a few different ways. Mikey beat Mangone. Mangone beat Snyder in a bruising matchup. There was a bunch of 4-on-4s that were played. We didn't get a whole lot of slab time in, though. The weather wasn't great for slab. Kurt, how about you? What was your favorite moment of the weekend?
Betting against all your terrible bets. I mean, yeah, like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe some of that. So I liked one of them though, but some of them I was reevaluating my whole life. Like, what did I do wrong? What did I miss in this game? Am I the one that's crazy? But I was surprised at some of the stances you took. I think besides that, it was good though. I felt bad rooting against my boy Dunkel. I don't like to root against you. It hurts me.
No, it's fine. It's all in good spirits. I can take it. I grew up in a tough household. You guys have seen my father. I can take it. But yeah, fun weekend all around. My favorite was definitely the Mikey tilt. I know Uncle T, you said he wasn't tilting, but that boy was on tilt for a good 36-hour stretch, and comedy at its finest. In many ways, love Mikey. He's a great time regardless, but took it like a champ. But he was on tilt hardcore. But fun time all around. Uncle T, you mentioned some good points on. Just getting FaceTime with folks is fun and good all around. Great time. Obviously, great people all around. So all kudos there. In regards to this golf setup, Snyder, your weekly course breakdown should include a little bit of why this tournament's different than others. I'm sure you already have. You're a seasoned vet. I'm sure it's already included in your course preview. But walk us through why Dell Technologies Match Plays is a little different than our typical golf tournament.
Yeah, we've got a really fun event here this week. We're going to be at Austin Country Club here. It's a Pete Dye, par 71. It's going to measure 7,108 yards. This track is going to feature average size greens here right around 5,500 square feet on average. The POA greens will be rolling at around 12 on the step meter. Austin Country Club will present narrow fairways here at around 25 yards wide on average here. 7 holes are going to have water in play here. 110 bunkers are going to litter the property. And the Bermuda grass rough will play at around 2 inches in height here. Not too big of a concern here. And then now this week has kind of a unique format here, which is going to be a match play format where the golfers will play each of their 3 opponents in their pods. Everybody's going to be put in 4-man pods to start out the first 3 days. They're going to play each other once in the knockout rounds, and then they're going to advance to the round of 16. It's going to be a bracket style format, winner go home from there on. In DFS, you need to make sure to create your proper rules here. You need to allow all 6 of your golfers the opportunity to make the Elite 8 there, and then the Final 4, and then max 1 golfer per pod in max, 1 golfer per round of 16. So you don't want your guys battling against each other if possible until the Elite 8 there. Last year we had around 30% of lineups were dead right after lock. Those lineups were dead and did not hold a chance against the field as they were not built correctly. This track's going to present many risk-reward opportunities as well, which is going to be great here for this match play setup here. I don't think this track favors any one specific skill type here, but some key stats I'll be looking at here: strokes gained approach, proximity 175 to 200, match play history, birdies are better gained, birdies are better percentage around the green, and putting. A hot putter can take you a long way in match play, and it can take down anyone if you can get a hot putter against even a guy like Scotty or Rahm or Rory, any of the top dogs.
Bring up a good point, Snyder, with last year especially. Obviously, great course breakdown as usual, but a great point on the whole mixing and matching of players. Because you could easily be drawn dead unknowingly, if your matchups are correct or if guys can't make the finals that way. And I find it surprising that the percentages were that high. I guess it was in the bigger tournaments, Snyder, like the bigger entry tournaments. Maybe optimizers got screwed up in terms of
the larger field. A lot of people are just sitting on the shitter, entering lineups off their phone and stuff. And those guys are usually drawing stone dead, but they were absolutely drawn stone dead in this event. It has gotten better though. Like 2 years ago, it was at like 40%. And last year it was at 30%. I do expect that number to be right around maybe 20 to 25% this year, though.
That's interesting. You could argue that those people, regardless, will at least be paying the rake this year in the bigger entry tournament. So, no, good to know and good food for thought, especially if you're building optimizers. Make sure you have the right rules in place for how you mix and match the right dudes. But without further ado, we could talk on DFS. Format of this show is going to be a little different than usual because the format of the tournament's a little different than usual. We'll go through DFS top bottom. We'll go through a winner. Favorite dog to make it out of some of these group matchups, and maybe we'll talk on a top seeded guy, I guess to upset in pool play potentially. But either way, we'll start with DFS. Snyder, I'll kick it with you because you had another amazing course breakdown.
Imagine,
Uncle T, everything all right over there? All right,
oh,
so yes. So who do you like at the top and who do they like at the bottom? And I'll just say this: when we do the mix and match, the high lows, make sure there's correlation there in case people are listening. They might just jam both these guys in a lineup. Make sure there's correlation for who you're taking at high and low. So Snyder, who do you like high and low?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I'm just not gonna overthink it here. I'm gonna go with Sky the Kid. He lives in the area, loves these Texas golf course. I don't think he's gonna be too highly owned, like maybe 20% owned, I think, which isn't too much in this type of factor, as a lot of those lineups might not be built correctly. So the active ownership could be even lower than that. I'm gonna play Scotty here. He's 11-2-2 in his match play career. Won this event last year. Got a second the year before. This course just sets up absolutely perfect for his game. So I really like. I think he's got a pretty soft draw too. He's in a pod with Tom Kim, Alex Noren, and Davis Riley, and then going further on, I think he's got a pretty easy path to the Final Four. So I really like Scotty the Kid up top. And then I'm gonna go with like a longer shot here, kind of a punt play at 6,100. Mackenzie Hughes. I'm gonna go with him at 6.1 as my cheap option. He's down in the bottom left bracket compared to Scotty, who's in the top left bracket. So both of them could definitely make the Final Four. Mackenzie Hughes generally plays better on some of these tougher courses. He's got a 4-2-1 match play record, and I really like the grouping he's in. Shane Lowry is terrible at match play. He's 8-18. Taylor Montgomery is interesting guy there, and then Jordan Spieth has a 15-15 career match play record. I think Mackenzie Hughes is a guy that can help you load up on some of the studs like Scotty, and he for some positive upside here, I think.
Good stuff, Snyder. Good stuff. Uncle T, how about you? DFS. Who do you like at the top, and who do you like in the middle bottom?
Yeah, I think one of the things, just to kind of just as an additional comment with Snyder's opening, was you got to embrace volatility in this thing. I mean, when you see these brackets, obviously people's first inclination is to try to jam in as many of these favorites to try to get out. It just never works that way. If you try to look out and say, I like this guy, and then I like him out 2 spots because I think he'll play this guy, I think you're doing it wrong. And the theme of the show for me, Dunkel, will be I'm taking more of a slightly different approach than Snyder, just in that I'm going to try to avoid, for the most part, the top 4 guys. I'm going to avoid Scheffler, Rahm, Rory, and for the most part, Cantlay. I'm going to have a little bit of Cantlay, but I'm trying to avoid those guys. I think there's going to be some volatility, and I think we're going to be able to get that second-tier group of guys maybe a little bit lower owned. And I'll lead into my top DFS play. It's going to go down the board just a little bit. Jason Day, 9,100. He's 28-1 to win the golf tournament. And, his recent success here hasn't been that great, or his recent form here hasn't been that great, but he's a completely different golfer. He's kind of found it again, as we all know, here in 2023. So I really like Jason Day at 9,100. He's in a pod with Morikawa, Svensson, and Victor Perez, and I'm not really scared of any of those guys. Obviously, Morikawa is an elite iron player, but I just don't know if this is a great format for Morikawa. I know he finished T10 or T9 here last year, but I don't know if he can make enough putts. So give me Jason Day up top. And then going down below, I'm not going to go all the way down below. I did like the Mackenzie Hughes call by Snyder there. Corey Connors, 7,900. Love Corey Connors here. Is, maybe about 9 or 10% is what I'm seeing him at, but he's 70-1 to win the match play. And I do think, he's, again, an elite ball striker. Similar in a way to Morikawa, it's can he make enough putts? But he does come off a T3 here last year, so he does have some recent success and some positive things he can build on. So give me a Day at 9,100, and then down below, give me Connors at 79.
Okay, Uncle T, sticking with your boy Corey Connors. It feels like you mentioned his name a lot on these shows. You big Connors simp, right? I mean, gotta be.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I played him a whole lot, Dunkel. You might have me confused with somebody else, but he might have been on an edible one or two of those shows or multiple shows. So, but no, I've played Connors a little bit. I like Corey Connors a little bit, the Canadian.
Perfect example on how to turn defense into offense from Uncle Terry. Kurt, how about you for DFS? What do you like at the top? What do you like at the bottom?
I'm going Patrick Cantlay. I think I love the draw he gets. He just seems like someone who doesn't make many mistakes. Those are the kind of guys I want. I wish I was more prepared and had his match play record. I know it has to be good. Snyder, can you give it to me? Patrick Cantlay's match play record.
Patrick Cantlay's 8-4-2.
8-4-2. That's
look at Snyder, just ready, guns blazing.
I mean, the guy is just don't you love having Snyder just right there at the whim? And then for my low guy, I'm going Kurt Kitayama, my guy. Meow. My throat hurts. I can't do it how I usually do it. I'm pretty sick right now. But yeah, Kurt Kitayama, like his form. I'm almost positive Tony Finau is not good at match play. Adrian Mionk, Seabed has a really tiny peen. My boy Kurt Kitayama for a cheapie.
Awesome. Uncle T, we'll slide back to you for a winner. Who do you like to win this tournament?
Yeah, this is definitely not a name I've heard a lot this week, and I'm completely fine with that. People are going to go a little bit further up top. I'm not saying this guy's totally off the board by any means, but out of the guys over 10K, I do think him along with Spieth going to be the lower owned guys. I'm going Xander Schauffele as my pick to win. I think he's 25-1 on DK, I believe, and FanDuel, if I'm not mistaken. So, he's a grinder, plays well in these type of events. He's had mediocre success at this track and in this format the last couple of years. But again, I think, his ownership's going to come in a lot less than the guys above him. For sure, more or less than Max Homa just below him. And I do love Homa and Cantlay as well. But for my winner, I'm going to go with Schauffele. As an added note, Dunkel, I'm fading and going to avoid Rory and Spieth and almost everything. I think I'm completely fading Rory and Spieth for the tournament. But Schauffele up top, are we going to give our long shot?
Well, briefly walk us through why you want to fade them too. So is there a big reason there?
I mean, Spieth, I don't know. I just can't get behind Spieth in this format. The one thing I will say, the one argument I've heard, and I kind of agree with it in this format with Spieth, if you wanted to go there, he has a tendency to blow up on a hole or grab a double or triple bogey. That's not really going to hurt him as much here. I just think, you're in that pod. Where's he at? He's in a decent pod, but I like Mackenzie Hughes to come out of there. I don't really like anybody in that group. And I'm going with Mackenzie Hughes, which was Snyder's guy he mentioned a moment ago. I just think that's a group that I'm not real fond of. You got Lowry in that group that can't putt, and you got Montgomery in the group that can putt but can't do anything else. So you got a kind of a mixed bag in that pod. I'm just banking on maybe an underdog to come out of there.
I think
What's that?
Taylor Montgomery could be an interesting guy in that group
Yeah.
too. He
Taylor
can catch
can
a hot
drive it.
putter here and knock out any of them.
He's gonna fold up like a lawn chair. Oh, totally disagree.
He
Montgomery
drives the ball good
Disagree.
too,
I'll
though,
take any
Lupine.
Montgomery smoke.
He drives the ball
I'm
well.
just saying, he's got an interesting draw there. He's the absolute typical match play guy, though. If that putter goes nuclear, he's gonna knock off anybody in his way. He'll be making that 25-footer when somebody else has a 15-footer right in front of him.
And if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. Hey, I'll take any Montgomery smoke from either one of you. Montgomery ain't making it out of that.
I was just saying that.
What's the odds on that? I might take some odds on that. Let me find his odds.
Well, let's for purposes of moving this show along, why don't I finish Dunkel?
Here we go again. Here, when someone calls, he backtracks.
I'm not backtracking. You're the one that has the 8:30 show on the bring on the what I don't have anywhere to be. So. But yeah, I'll take any smoke on Montgomery coming out of there.
Plus 300.
And then Rory Dunkel, can you mute him while I finish my segment?
Snyder's not allowed to be muted on any of these shows.
Imagine that, Kurt. But and then the Rory thing, I don't. Again, I'm picking a couple, maybe longer shots coming out of that bottom right hand quadrant. So. I just think you have to pick a couple upsets, Dunkel, and I'm just kind of making a stand that Rory and Spieth are not going to be good this week. So,
fair enough. What about you, Snyder? Who do you like to win?
I'm going to go with another Texas guy here. He made a good charge at this event last year. It's just been coming down to the putter with him lately. I'm going to go with Will Zalatoris at 28-1 here to come out of this. Made a very strong push last year. He's from Texas, loves playing golf here in Texas. I think he's a guy that the putter is just the only thing that's been holding him back the last couple of events. The ball striking, the approach play, it's all still there. This is a great track for him too, where he can be more aggressive. There's a lot of holes here where like one bad hole isn't going to hurt him. There, if he 3-putts one hole, it's not going to kill him. He'll be right back firing at pins the next hole. So I really like Will Zalatoris there. I think he's got a really easy draw there too, and then. Once he comes up, I think he's got a pretty good, easily possible 2 rounds to open the thing up. So I like Will Zalatoris at 28-1.
Now, just looking at who's around him odds-wise, I mean, he must not be in obviously great form because last year he was in that 12, 15-1 almost weekly, 18-1, 20-1, basically 30-1 in this tournament. Is that more because his form coming in, Snyder?
Yeah, the form's just the putters killed him the last 2 events. He's gotten like 73rd and 53rd. But when the putter was on, he top 5 that Genesis a couple events ago.
Cool. And Snyder, is it just me? Did I not see a Soldiers this week?
It hasn't come out yet. I'll have that out Wednesday. I won't have one for this event, but I'll have a Soldiers out for the Punta Cana, which starts Wednesday. It's the PGA event.
Even with the accent, he says it. All right. Kurt, who's your winner?
Winner is going to be Joyson Doi. The guy's playing awesome right now. I'm going to keep riding him while he's healthy. Sorry, can I get his match play record again, please?
Who's that?
Jason Doi.
Oh, Jason Day? I was like,
piggybacking my play now, Kurt. Now Kurt's back on Uncle T's
Jason
side.
Day is 25-16, but he's 1-7 his last 8 matches.
Woo, boy. I thought it was something like that. Thank you, Steiner, once again.
Yeah, he's solid.
Yeah, give me Joyson Doi for my winner. Chicken dinner.
Cool.
30-1 on DK. I'll probably shop later for FanDuel.
Snyder, I'll kick it back to you. And maybe this is Montgomery, but who's your biggest dog to pop out of the early groups?
Yeah, I actually had Mr. Montgomery wrote down here on my
it's
paper.
It's going to be a good week for Uncle T.
80-1 right there. I don't know if you can see it, but 80-1 Taylor Montgomery. I think he's the guy with that. If that putter catches fire, we saw last year he had some a lot of deep runs last year. The game's kind of a little in shambles, but this is a different type of event. I mean, he's not going to need to possibly play for 18 rounds. He's young. He can battle. I like Montgomery at 80-1 to long shot this.
Love it. Especially upset in the early group. Uncle T, you look PO'd.
He's in great form. I just looked at Montgomery. You're right. He's in excellent form coming in. I don't see a whole lot to like the last 6 weeks. He's in great form. That's a great call.
That's sarcasm.
Great call.
I can't tell. Is that sarcasm?
It's 100% sarcasm. But I didn't want to interrupt Snyder's segment, though, like he does me. I didn't want to interrupt his segment.
Bop, bop, bop.
I think he's in better form than Corey Connors, though.
Well,
Okay, little shots over the bow back to Uncle T.
You guys
All
know
right.
who
this
is,
is
you know who
this
is
is
in
very
good form?
hurtful.
Kurt Kitayama's in
Very
pretty good
hurtful.
form.
Well,
So Uncle T, who's an upset for the other group?
upset to get through the pod. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
I'm going with Ryan Fox. I'm going against his boy Zalatoris. I like Ryan Fox in that group. I don't like anybody really in that group, similar to on the other bottom left side when I liked Mac Hughes in that group. Some of these groups where I don't like the top couple guys in that pod, I'm just taking a chance and using some lower salary guys on DFS, as far as DraftKings, to build my teams. And Ryan Fox is a guy that's been playing pretty solidly lately. And, while he hasn't played in this event, I kind of like him in that, you got Harris English, Putnam, not big on either one of them two guys. I don't mind Zalatoris. This isn't a play against Zalatoris. While I think he clearly can come out of that pod, again, just taking a chance on Ryan Fox here.
Yeah, I'll have Fox in my pool for sure.
Kurt, what about you? Dog to upset in the early group.
Yeah, I got between two. I need to once again go to the Mr. Match play record. Sorry, Snyder. Chris Kirk's match play record.
6-4.
That's fine. Plus 300. I don't believe in Victor. I don't believe in Siwoo or Kutcher. I definitely don't believe in Siwoo. I like him for like GPPs and like regular golf tournaments. But man, for match play, not sure. But I know Kutcher's a really good match play guy. But let me go plus 300 Chris Kirk.
Cool. And last but not least for this show, because we make modifications based on the format of the tournament. So last but not least, which big favorite goes down early? Uncle T, this one I'll start with you. This was a great category that you came up with. So which big favorite, and by big favorite, we'll talk on, let's see, we'll talk on Scotty, Rahm, McIlroy, Cantlay, Xander. Which big favorite goes down early?
Yeah, I'm gonna go against John Rahm here, JJ. So Rahm will be my first, kind of big name or big tier or top tier guy, however you want to word it. He'll be my guy that kind of exits early. I don't think he makes it out of the group. I think while Billy Horschel is not in the best form, he does have a little bit of success in this format the last couple of years. And again, not in the greatest form, but has had success here. You got him, you got Mitchell, and you've got our boy Ricky Flower, who's been playing much better. So I just think this is one of the tougher for the upper tier guys pod to get out of. So I'm going with John Rahm to be the first guy to, or not the first guy, but the top guy to get ousted.
Fair enough. And Snyder, what about you? I know you're not a big Rahm, or as the cool kids call him, Ram fan. Are you in agreement with Uncle T, or are you going somebody different?
I think that's a really tough deal there. I'm gonna have Billy Horschel and Ricky Flower in my player pool this week, but I'm gonna go with Matt Kuchar. I think I like him at plus 320 to advance out of his pod. He's really good in match play. He's got some pretty good recent form heading into. He's 35-18-5 in match play, so he's played a ton of match play. He's made a couple good runs here too. Let me pull up his history here.
So just so I'm clear, if you're picking Matt Kuchar, you're basically saying Hovland takes an early exit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Kuchar's recent form here. He got third in 2021, second in 2019, and then ninth in 2018. So I really like Kuchar, who's showing some decent form here. He's missed a couple cuts, but he had an 8th at the Genesis, was fine at Phoenix. I think he's a guy that could wear down these guys. I'm not too scared of Chris Kirk here. Not scared of Siwoo. Siwoo does play good on die tracks, but I don't really like him in this format. And then Hovland, I think he can make too many mistakes around the green and such, and Kuchar will be there to pick him off.
JJ, wrap that up. Wrap all that up in one little thing for me. Is he fading Hovland? He never once said Hovland is his first guy or top guy to go out. Come on,
I don't
Snyder.
think he gave his other one. I don't think he gave his.
Snyder did one of those good diplomatic.
Snyder might have not understood the assignment.
But what he said implied that Kuchar would come out of there, which means Hovland takes an early exit, which is suffice. It's suffice. We don't
He
need
had a lot of nooners the last few days. I'll give him a pass.
We don't need a nitpick. And I know Uncle T might be a little salty because he got scrubbed on the golf course. Scrubbed.
Snyder whooped my ass. Your boy Joey Work in the chat. What's up, Joey?
Yeah, what's up, Joey? And a quick shout to Jason Graham, always in here with the comments. Always appreciate you, Jason. Or maybe you go by Jay, maybe. Kurt, who's your fave to go out early?
Who's ready to get a little controversial?
This is going to be John Rahm.
Uh-oh.
No, that's not controversial. Everyone hates him this week, I feel like.
Yeah, he's gonna be low.
Who's everyone loves this week? Who's a lock to win this tournament this week? Who's the
Scotty Chef?
Scotty's a lock to win though. I cannot go against him. He's a lock to win. He's Texas boy. He's great at match play. There's no variance in golf. He can't lose.
Always next week, Kurt.
Always next week. Yeah, because golf has no variance, guys. Scotty's gonna win the tournament. Lock it in. Everyone go put your.
I'm actually on Kurt's side just a little bit here.
Look, no, Uncle T, no. Golf has no variance. There's no variance. Fuck Scotty.
I
once again can't really confirm if it's sarcasm or not.
It's sarcasm. We're going Tom Kim. Alex Noreen is terrible, but he's pretty good at match play. Davis Riley probably awful in match play, but I like him kind of. But Tom Kim and Alex Noreen is to make an upset and get Scotty out of here. He's had his turn.
I'm on Tommy Kim too, Kurt. Let's ride together.
No.
Can I get action?
$1 million on Scotty win the tournament. That's the action you can take.
I just want some action there in that pod.
I'll be honest, Snyder. You can get Scotty at 110 if you're going to pay them at Tom Kim at 3-1.
Put the bank account on that. Stake it. Go get the bank
account. You want Tom Kim at 3-1 and I get Scotty at 110?
No, I want you to go to the bank and put it all on Scotty to advance.
Oh, they're backtracking. They're scared.
I'm not back. You put your money on it. Go put all your money on Scotty to advance.
Uncle T, what about you? You're awfully quiet.
I'll take that Scotty doesn't. Well, I don't necessarily not like him in the first pot. I just don't think he's going to. Dunkel, if I would have picked Scotty as my top guy to go out early, I would have mentioned it 5 minutes ago. Instead, I mentioned Rahm. So I'm not going to add another guy to get. You're not going to provoke me to join Scotty on the first one to exit. I use John Rahm. Now, I will say we'll get some action off the air. I will take against that awful stiff Taylor Montgomery that's coming in wonderful form, but somehow he's going to get out of a pod. You know, he wouldn't get out of a pod with three of us in there.
So
you could almost do it like him versus Connors somehow. I don't know how we do that.
Oh, geez. Connors is my play tomorrow, by the way. A little bonus pick, Dunkel, before we go off the air. Bonus pick. I've got Corey Connors minus 130 over Sepp Straka. So, Dunkel or Snyder, if you want your boy Sepp Straka, the big fella, I'll give you plus 110 on the other side.
I actually like Cameron Young in that pod quite a bit.
Okay, so you mentioned somebody else. So you changed the narrative. I'm talking about Corey Connors. He's facing Straka tomorrow.
I'm just giving some info. I think Cameron Young is going to see the biggest increase in his play here throughout the rest of the year and such. He just got Webb Simpson's caddy effective this week. We saw what happened Scotty Scheffler last year when he got Ted Scott on the bag. And Cameron Young got what I think is one of the top 5 caddies on the whole tour to take over his bag starting this week. I think that's going to be huge for Cameron Young.
I definitely agree with that point on the caddy change. I want to know if you want your boy Hefty Sepp Straka.
No, I'm not. I've got Straka, Connors, and Davis Thompson all aligned through them.
Did I miss?
Oh, you playing all 4?
No, I'm only playing Cameron Young in that pod.
Did I miss when it became like the normal thing? Right, Zach? Let them cook. Did I miss where it became normal to call the caddies the bag? Like, is that like normal?
They're looping. You ever heard that term?
No, I haven't. That's normal. Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Change his
like
bag. I like that.
I feel like Cam Young and Xander are getting extremely overlooked today. So good call.
I love Scott. I love Cameron Young in this format.
I don't mind him. I like Xander even more.
I feel like both are going to be extremely low owned. I mean, I know they're on the same.
Xander is in a 8-person. Those 2 pods at the bottom right. The one was starting with Schauffele and Fitzpatrick. It's going to take him to play pretty poorly, in my opinion, to not get out to the final 8. But I don't know.
I'm kind of high on Min Woo a little bit in his pod there at 7,600.
Yeah, I think he was one of my. Besides Kurt, I like the mid 7K guys, second highest. 2 Asians.
All right. Well, last but not least, we'll go through some final notes. Snyder, we will start with you. You could talk on your personal life. You can talk on this golf tournament. You can talk on your love for Uncle Terry. Whatever you'd like to discuss, the floor is yours. Final notes.
Just trying to get back to 100% after a fun weekend with Uncle Terry and all the boys down there in Kentucky. Good time there. We do have the Strokes Gain show coming up next over on the Run Pure Sports channel. Me, AP, and Locks will be breaking it down more so from a DFS standpoint. We're going to go through each pod, talk everything through, talk about the rules that you need to set to build optimal lineups and all that going forward. And then we've got the playbook up. We are also going to have Putakana, the other PGA event going on aside from this with the rest of the PGA field. We're going to have content for that up as well. Playbooks going up for that. Core plays. We're going to have everything. All sports, one price like always.
Love it, Snyder. Uncle T, what about you? That's a tough act to follow for a final note. What do we got?
Yeah, imagine that. Any segment after Snyder is always a tough act to follow. I understand the rules, but no, I mean, he did bring up some good points. So, I mean, I think the reason that, and we kind of cut up on this show a little bit, but we give the takes that we are going to play, and while I disagreed a little bit with Snyder and Kurt disagreed here and there with us, it's plays that we're going to make. And it goes with the tournament though, right? Snyder is, we all can't agree because it'd be too easy. This is a format that you just have to have takes and go with it. And while, I'm kind of banging on Montgomery to not do well, would it shock me that he came out? Absolutely not. It's golf. You know what I mean? But I'm not on him, but I get while, people are going to make plays on it. So I want people out there, the ones that are the regulars, maybe not watching this, haven't watched this show before, we're just giving takes that we are going to play. So look forward to a fun weekend. If you don't have guys going into the weekend, it's probably going to be a boring Saturday and Sunday for you. If you happen to get 2, maybe 3 through the final 4, you're going to be looking great for the weekend. So again, great to see you guys for another golf show. And we'll see you next week.
Love it. Kurt, last but not least, any final notes to take us home?
I am also still recovering. Got a little bit of a cold. I was extremely high the entire weekend. And the thing is, my most sober days were the days I was eating the most. So I was too high to go get food when I was high. But yeah, awesome time. I wish we could do it more, but hey, here we are. Always fun. I'm glad we could get the golf show together even on a Tuesday. This is actually the only day I could have done it. So I'm glad we got it together and hopefully we see some winners.
Dunkel, can I add one more thing real quick?
Yeah, sure.
30 seconds. So talking about my man, Kurt, he is as fit as anybody that was at the house this weekend. And my man eats literally 24/7. I don't know how he stays as good a fit shape as he is. I know he works out and I know. So the second to last night, before we get ready to go out to dinner, he had 2 big spoonfuls of peanut butter. And I caught him. Nobody was looking. I'm like, Kurt, what are you doing? He goes, just eating a couple spoons of peanut butter. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I thought, all right, it's kind of odd. But so then I take him. He's with me going to dinner. And we're on their way. And he's over there eating. I'm like, what are you eating? He goes, just a protein bar. I said, where'd you get that? He goes, I had it in my pocket here. So he gets 2 spoonfuls of peanut butter, a protein bar on the way, and then he eats dinner. It's like I've never seen a guy eat that much.
Call that a roadie.
He does.
I had to pick a roadie protein bar with me just in case.
Kurt's body's just a well-oiled machine.
That's crazy. I'm jealous, very jealous.
Well-oiled machine. And then again, look, kudos also to Snyder, not to continue to blow Snyder, but we go out to a bar, and what does Snyder get? A small salad and what, half a whole grain piece of toast or something. Everybody's ordering wings, mozzarella sticks, chicken quesadillas, and what's Snyder getting? House salad with a 1 piece of whole grain toast. It's impressive stuff.
What about when he got the cupcake? He got the 2 cupcakes.
I did get 2 cheesecake sliders or whatever they were.
He did break for the cheesecake sliders. All right, folks. Thanks as always for popping in. Big thanks to Uncle T, Snyder, Kurt. Obviously, good luck tomorrow with this. Look, also USA Japan's on now, so enjoy that as you must. Tomorrow I'm going to be on with my father doing a little bracket breakdown. So for those that want to keep fading me, you might enjoy yourself tomorrow knowing that he's probably going to be on the opposite sides of me anyway. So yes, either way, that's for tomorrow. Snyder already mentioned his show that's coming up. That's at 9:00, right, Snyder? Or 8:30?
In 23 minutes.
Oh, 8:30.
8:30 Central. 8:30 Eastern.
Same channel that we're on now, breaking down a lot more granular DFS stuff. So look forward to that. But look, with all that said, enjoy your evening, everybody. Gamble responsibly, stay safe. And as always, run pure. We'll be back next week.